Welcome to the Advocate for Schools podcast, your weekly update on Alabama education legislation and policy from the Alabama Association of School Boards. We are in the final stretch with just 3 legislative days remaining. Lawmakers are planning to wrap up the session on April 9th, otherwise known as Sine Die. Let's make these last days count. The biggest news this week: the Senate passed the $10.4 billion FY27 Education Trust Fund budget package. The Senate made minor changes to most of the bills, and those now head back to the House for concurrence. Here's what changed. On the ETF supplemental, the overall amount for local school boards and the State Department of Education stays the same. However, within the $25 million one-time school safety allocation, $3 million is now earmarked specifically for school mapping work to be completed by the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency under the School Security Act of 2024. On the EAT Fund supplemental, the Senate added an earmark to one school board's appropriation for athletic facility enhancements, along with small adjustments to the $4.9 million pot of legislative special projects for select systems. On the main FY27 ETF budget, the Senate increased the RAISE Act weights for students in poverty, special education, Tier 1, and gifted students, changes that affect how the $191 million in the RAISE Act fund will be distributed to your systems in the upcoming school year. On the educator pay raise bill, in addition to the across-the-board 2% increase, the Senate added language providing a one-time longevity bonus for TRS retirees. The one bill that passed without any Senate changes and has already been transmitted to the governor is the Educational Opportunities Reserve Fund appropriation. With just days left in the session, here's a procedural term worth knowing: the Budget Isolation Resolution, or BIR. Until both the ETF and general fund budgets are signed by the governor, any bill that comes to the floor first requires a supermajority vote just to be considered. This is a significant hurdle that can stop controversial bills in their tracks. But once it's cleared, passing the bill itself becomes much easier. In the final days, timing and vote counting matter enormously. Several significant bills moved this week. Here are the ones your board needs to know about. Advanced Math Pathways passed the House. This bill requires the State Department of Education to develop an advanced math pathway to prepare students for Algebra 1 in middle school and college-level math in high school. School boards would be required to adopt automatic enrollment policies, with support provided to participating students. AASB successfully secured an amendment to clarify the roles of the SDE and local boards and create an opt-out process for students. Screen time limits also passed the House. Building on the Healthy Early Development and Screen Time Act, signed into law earlier this session, this bill would require the State Board of Education to adopt standards for screen-based instruction in kindergarten through 12th grade and create a task force to develop recommendations. AASB's amendment was adopted to exempt required assessments, teacher technology use, and online coursework from the restrictions. The overtime income tax deduction passed the House, but with a significant addition. An amendment attached a 60-day grocery sales tax holiday, running May 1st through June 30th each year. That addition more than doubled the bill's estimated annual cost to the ETF, from $40 million to $83.4 million per year. This bill now goes to the Senate. The Accountability Council passed the House. This bill establishes a legislative council to review Alabama's state report card and suggest improvements and directs the Alabama Workforce Board to develop a system for tracking college and career readiness outcomes. On the Senate floor, the Ten Commandments bill passed, requiring local boards to display the Ten Commandments in 5th through 12th grade history classrooms and school common areas using private funding. The Choose Act athletic eligibility bill also passed the Senate. 4 bills are now headed to the governor's desk that directly affect local school operations. Gulf of America would require state and local entities to implement the name change from Gulf of Mexico unless it imposes a financial or operational burden. Education job postings reduces the mandatory job posting window for certain school board positions from 14 days to 7 days. Religious release time would require public schools to allow students to participate in off-site religious instruction during the school day at a parent's request, if sponsored by a local church or religious organization. General Contractor Exemption. And this one is good news for local school boards. It exempts routine maintenance and repair work from general contractor requirements, making it easier and faster for your system to contract for services related to existing security systems, lighting, plumbing, painting, and janitorial services. Before we go, a word on the bigger picture. Since this session began, 57 bills have been filed that would reduce revenues flowing into the Education Trust Fund. Of those, 39 carry fiscal notes totaling more than $458 million in estimated annual costs. Every year, every exemption has a cost, and Alabama students are the ones who pay it. AASB has launched a resource called Defending the Trust, and it includes a What Does It Buy calculator. You can plug in any bill from this session and see what that money could mean for Alabama's public schools, school buses, teachers, reading coaches, and per-pupil funding. Visit alabamaschoolboards.org/defendthetrust to try it for yourself. And don't forget to take this week's poll. We want to know, do you support the legislature creating an accountability council to make recommendations for the state report card? Don't miss a single update from the Advocate for Schools podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, YouTube, or iHeartRadio, hit the subscribe or follow button right now. It's free, and it means the next episode will come straight to your phone the moment it drops. No searching required.